Hello everybody, Chris here, and in this video I want to show you guys a great tool called Handbrake that you can use to re-encode and compress your video files into the formats you want, and hopefully with a smaller file size as well, without losing quality in your video playback. So Handbrake is completely free and open source. It's also cross-platform for Windows, Mac, and Linux, and you can find it at handbrake.fr for free download. So when you choose a preset for your video output, you're obviously going to want that to correspond with what your import resolution size and frame rate is. So for me, I usually export in 1080p resolution and 30 frames per second. So you can go on the presets and usually you can find what you want in general. So fast 180p, 30 frames per second, I would just select that. And I like to check web optimized since obviously I upload all my videos to the web. So that means that you can play a video file back without having the full file downloaded. Doesn't seem like something that can hurt at all. So depending how your first export may go, you may also want to go over to the video tab and change the quality a little bit. You can scroll this up or down if you notice that the video doesn't look good enough when it's compressed, but I found that at the constant quality, 22 frames per second. But I've been finding that for my YouTube videos that just leaving it at the default settings there is perfectly fine. So how do you actually queue up a whole bunch of videos so that you can re-encode them and compress them all at once? You'll notice that there's a queue button in the top bar and it has options add current, add all, add selection. But we don't actually have anything selected right now. If I click on queue, we can see that I have one item in my queue. That was the video I most recently compressed. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear that now. So you can open that window anytime with the queue button there. But to actually add in your files to the queue, you're going to want to go up to the... But to actually add in files to your queue, you're going to want to go up to the File menu and do Open Source, or you can click Open Source in the top left-hand corner. And this will give you the source selection. So you can see that you can do a batch scan, you can open a single video file, and you can also drag and drop files from your computer onto this window. So if you have all of your video files stored in one area, it's going to be pretty convenient to add them. So we can do a folder batch scan, which means we just select a folder on our computer which has all of the videos we want to recompress. So in this case, videos publish is where I'm storing my videos. So I can go ahead and click select folder here, and it will scan through all of those video files and add them into Handbrake. So this could take a while depending on how many videos you're actually adding into Handbrake at once. So just give it a minute and then come back. So now that our videos are referenced inside of Handbrake, we can go up to add to queue and do add all. Now before we add to queue and start the queue, we're going to actually need to do some initial setup for your export locations. So if this is your first time setup, go up to the Tools menu and choose Preferences. And we're going to want to go to the Output Files tab here. So when you see this tab, there's something called Automatic File Naming and Automatic Name Output Files. Your default path is not going to be set by default. So in order for you to compress all of your files at once in one giant queue, we're going to need to select a path for the output. So click on Browse, and then either find a location on your computer or create a new one where you want to store your outputted compressed videos. So I'll call this tutorial compressed output here. Right-click New Folder, and then I will select that folder and hit the Select Folder button. You can leave the file format as default if you want. It's going to add the number of the source if you leave the source placeholder in there, and then it's going to add the original title of the video file. So if you want to get rid of the source number, you can simply delete that part and just leave it as title inside of these curly braces. Now with that done, we can hit back, and we can actually add all of our files to the queue. So I'm going to left click on the Add Queue button, do Add All. So depending on how many files you're trying to add to the queue, this can take a second as well. So as soon as you've done that and it's processed everything, you should see the queue pop open with the number of videos that you've just added to the queue. So we can click on the queue now to see all of the jobs that we are trying to convert using the settings that we have in Handbrake. So you can scroll down through here and see all of those files. Now, if you're converting anywhere near this number of files, it is going to take a long time to do. So if you want your computer to shut down when the queue is finished, you can click on this menu here and change it to shut down there. And all you need to do at this point is hit the Start Queue button. Now, if any of your files fail to convert while you're gone, you can go up to the Options menu here and click on Retry Failed in order to try to recomplete those failed conversions. But generally, assuming everything's going to go well, you can just hit the Start Queue button, sit back, and allow it to start exporting your videos to their new video format. So now you can just wait as Handbrake goes ahead, processes your video, and exports them to their new settings. Just to kind of show you some of the results you may expect, I have this guide here that I was creating in DaVinci Resolve. It was originally about 8 gigabytes. But when I compressed it, it got down to 1.3 gigabytes. So doing this can save a lot of space on your computer and also make it quicker for your videos to upload onto the internet. So that's basically Handbrake in a nutshell. It's a really easy to use, awesome free tool for compressing and re-encoding your video files. Once again, you can find it at handbrake.fr. So I've been Chris, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my future video content.